February is the shortest month.
Let's take a look at some of the new announcements that were made in February in the hope that I might be able to highlight some of the things that you may have missed. And before we start, I want to give you a reminder about the 48 in 48 group build that's happening over the weekend of the 14th, 15th and 16th of March. The concept of the group build is to start and finish a complete model in a 48-hour period, although if you don't finish it doesn't matter. It's really all about raising awareness and funds for the charity Models for Heroes. Models for Heroes is a charity that looks after return service people and looks after their mental health through scale modelling therapies and things like that. So it's a great cause, so I would urge you to get involved if you can. There'll be live builds and auctions and just a whole lot of fun over the weekend. So if you can get involved, please do. The link is down below in the show notes. But let's get started because there's a bit to get through. Coming in at number 10 is the full interior T55 from Rye Field Models. And there's no denying that Rye Field Models have become one of the heavy hitters in the industry of late. And looking at these renders, they are absolutely beautiful. The T55 market has been pretty much saturated by mini art with their full interior T55 line, which is probably the reason this one didn't score a little bit higher. But if you were wanting to dabble into the dark arts of tank interiors, this would be a really nice place to start, so keep an eye out for it. Next release I saw over on Scalemates, and it's from a company called B&L Models, and it's a release of a 3D printed set that you can use to upgrade the AFV Club or the Zvezda T3485 to pop the Type 65 anti-aircraft turret on the top. This anti-aircraft configuration was used by the North Vietnamese, and I can guarantee you if you pop this on your T34 and put this on the display table, it will spark conversations. It's a real cool looking subject and just something a little bit different to the norm. Now this one may not be what you've expected from me, but it's Jim Hopper's 85 Chevy from the Netflix series Stranger Things.
It's Jim Hopper.
Like many of you, my house was filled with teenagers when this series was in its prime, so I kind of watched it by default and ended up enjoying it as it would happen. But this model is of the Chevy. It's got the sirens, it's got the police livery. A kit like this can become very collectible very quickly. I've seen it happen with the A-Team van, for instance, and the truck from Convoy and things like that, which I've got tucked away in my stash, and I can see this one finding its way in there sometime soon. In another shock, I'm giving the MPC SS Chevelle Slasher a run here at number 7, and I'm by no means an authority on automotive modelling whatsoever, and this is actually an old kit. It was released back in 1980, but they're spruiking the fact that they've upgraded some parts in it, so hopefully that would bring that car up to 2025 standard. I'm a sucker for American muscle, and that's why that one's made the list. If you can pronounce it, I'll leave it up to you, but from what I understand, SCT is the brand, and they've released a whole heap of these earth movers and excavator type vehicles. I know nothing about the kits, but I can see there's some in 43rd scale and 35th scale. I know 43rd's a bit odd. 35th, very usable. I just think it might bridge that gap between the civil modelers and the military modelers and just present real opportunities for applying weathering effects and interesting things like that. There's so many civilian figures and whatnot that you can get now in 35th scale particularly. And these subjects would tie in beautifully with that and give you so many opportunities for creating interesting dioramas and whatnot. So that's why I've slipped this one in on the list. And don't be fooled with this one, it is a new kit. It's the Merkava Mark IV M, and it's by MENG, but this one's in 72nd scale. In possibly the laziest move of all time by the MENG marketing team, they've used the same box art they used on the 35th scale release. So don't be fooled when you see the box art in thinking that it's not a new kit. It is a new kit. It looks quite simple, and I find that these 72nd scale releases can be a nice palette cleanser, and I'm hoping that's where this one might fit the bill. I'm going to shout out Dynamo Models here, and it's probably because I'm a little late to the party. They've been around for a while now, and they have released new figures now, so I can feel I can tick the box to making it on this list. They've announced the new releases this month in all different scales, but Dynamo Models are focusing on, from what I can tell at least, French subjects, as well as early war British, civilians, animals, things like that. Check out the website, I've left the link below, but the figures look really nice, and I've got a few sets coming, so hopefully I'll get a closer look and give you a better understanding of what to expect from this brand. I have a real soft spot for the Churchill, which is why this one slipped in at number 3, and it's the AFV Club Churchill, the Mark I with the bridge laying apparatus on the top of it. This kit has been previously released, but like with some of the other models that I've mentioned, they're spruiking the fact that there's upgraded parts, or new parts at least, so it seems like a pretty good excuse to take the plunge into this kit. It would be perfect for a diorama or a little setting, or even a display model just by itself. That bridge element, sitting proud, is going to command interest and respect on the table just by the nature of the size of the thing. So I think this is going to be a really cool kit, and I would like to try and get my hands on it at some point. Now, I've heard a lot of groaning about these Takom Super Blitz kits, and I think the people that are complaining about it are kind of missing the point. The latest announcement from Takom in their Super Blitz line is the Jagdpanther G2 in 35th scale. The concept of this line is purely to simplify the build through a reduced part count and make a model like this accessible to modelers of pretty much every skill level. That reduced parts count not only makes it accessible to different skill levels, but it also helps to keep the price point down, which is always a good thing in this hobby in my book. And while there'll probably be a chorus of people complaining about another German World War II release, fact of the matter is there is a demand for these and they sell, and I think this is going to be a great kit, and I can't wait to get my hands on one, and I'll let you know as soon as I do. I remember being a teenager and being quite obsessed with the Vietnam War and all the vehicles and the movies and the subjects and whatnot based around it, but actually finding models that you could model from that genre was quite difficult back in the day. And I guess we're being a little bit spoilt for choice now. And that's my number 1 release for February, is the M551 Sheridan Vietnam era from Rye Field Models. Rye Field Models did release a Desert Storm version of the Sheridan a few years ago, and this was obviously a natural progression in that product line. It looks like it can be modelled in 2 different configurations, and I don't know a lot about it, but I think this one is going to be in fairly high demand because there is a real soft spot with a lot of modelers for the Sheridan. So that's my top 10 announcements from February. But what do you guys think? Did you agree with them? Do you think I missed something? Let me know if you like this style of video, because I'm enjoying making them. I'd love to know, so let me know in the comments down below. Thank you as always to the Modelling News for giving me the opportunity to get a look at some of these models, and also thanks to the team for Hyperscale for their continued support. Please consider giving this video a like, and if you like this content, I can guarantee you I have so much in the pipeline at the moment, so be sure you subscribe to never miss a video. And if you want to connect and join in a greater way, please come and join us over at the Patreon page. And don't forget the 48 in 48 group build. It's next weekend, 14th, 15th, 16th of March. They do it every year, so if you missed this one, be sure to check in next year. Remember guys, this is the greatest hobby in the world. Share it with your family and share it with your friends, and let's be proud of what we do. Until next time, I will see you soon.
Where the hell did the month go?
What?